Hello and welcome to Learn Sanskrit, and we are today doing Lesson 10. And here we are basically today focused only on nouns, and in particular I'm going to talk about proper nouns. But first let's list a couple of new nouns here. Whoops, we should have black instead there. Nouns, okay. And these are all masculine in grammatical gender. So let's take putraḥ, which means the son and the daughter, not the son as in Ra or anything like that, but this is a little boy, we can say, and in Devanagari, putraḥ, like that. And then we have an animal called vīraḥ, which is the deer hunter. Is a movie that comes to mind here. And then we have vīraḥ, with the long E sound, which means the hero. And let's fill in the Devanagari here also. Vīraḥ, like that, and vīraḥ. And we have oh, whoops, too close there. I'm going to move this a little bit so we see the long E sound here. Vīraḥ, like that. The hero, vīraḥ. Mrigaḥ, the deer. Putraḥ, the son. And today we are going to start with some new things here. We're going to start with proper nouns, proper names, that is, and that simply means names of people or names of persons. So for instance, we have Rāmaḥ, which we encounter in many classical Indian texts. Ramayana, for instance, so named after the hero. And this is simply, in English, this is spelled simply like Rāma, like that. And another one coming from the Bhagavad Gita. Oops, I shouldn't do this in Arjunaḥ, Arjuna in spelled in English. And then we have another name, Daśarathaḥ. At the end there. And Daśarathaḥ in English texts, in English translations of Indian works. Alright, so these are the three names, the three proper names there. Just write it up, proper names. And these up here, the first putraḥ, mrigaḥ, and vīraḥ, these are simply regular nouns. But these here are names of persons, and we usually call them proper names. Or proper nouns as well. Okay, so that's one thing. So we have the nouns on their own, and now we're talking about, I'll get a fresh sheet here, and we will talk about specifying names, or something like that. It's about qualifying, or maybe we should call it qualifying nouns instead. Qualifying nouns. Oh, well, I couldn't undo that. Okay, I'll just erase it. So let's talk about qualifying the noun. So what I'm referring to in English is the following. Let's say that we have a sentence here called "The hero eats." Right? And in Sanskrit, now with our new word for the hero would be vīraḥ. Vīraḥ, and then the word for eating, khādati, like that. The hero eats. But now, when in this sentence here, we don't know what the hero is named. Which hero are we talking about? Well, we are talking about the hero called Rāmaḥ. So then we specify that the hero Rāmaḥ eats. Or in English, you could start with Rāmaḥ and say Rāmaḥ the hero eats. That works as well. And the question now here is, how do we do this in Sanskrit? because so the challenge then is that what are the endings here of. We know that the hero here is, as usual, in the basic form here of a noun, which is called the nominative form. So this is sort of the basic form, which corresponds to this ending. So this verb, if we can, this verb is he eats. And the ending, so the ending tells us that. And the he in this khadati is the vīraḥ. So what I'm saying here is that in order to, when we are specifying now here in the Rāmaḥ here, we have to have Rāmaḥ in the same form, in the same nominative case as the hero is. So if the hero is nominative, then Rāmaḥ must be nominative. And not just nominative, but it has to be nominative singular. Nominative singular also for Rāmaḥ. So then we just line them up here. We will write, let's go back to black text here. Vīraḥ, Rāmaḥ, khadati. The hero Rāmaḥ eats, or Rāmaḥ the hero eats. So this is the sort of default state. This is the, I think I can say that this is the most common way of doing this in Sanskrit. I mean, the alternative would be to say, well, let's do it in English. Let's put Rāmaḥ first, and then this works well in English, but I haven't found any textual evidence, at least in my Sanskrit textbooks, for that this syntax is okay. So even though it is certainly possible that it might be perfectly doable, it seems that the recommended word order in this case is the first one that I mentioned. So this is what I know to be a good syntax, and okay, this one, and I'll write okay question mark here. And of course, technically speaking, we can jumble around the words in almost any order and still derive the the meaning. So Rāmaḥ, vīraḥ, it would work well, sort of like theoretically speaking. But the question I'm asking is, does people actually do this in Sanskrit, in the texts, in the classical texts, or in perhaps in modern usage as well? So and what I'm saying here is that for the purpose of this course here, we're sort of going with this first solution here, number one here, and we are saving number two for later. If I can prove, if I can find some sources that where the naming is done before where the proper noun down here is placed before the regular noun. If I can find some sources, we can take that in another video, but until then we will say that this is the default order. So the regular name or the regular noun first here, and then comes the name. And I have checked this with Goldman and Agnes and even Apte, which is a very good source for syntax. So we should be good to go in this regard. Now the whole naming issue here of qualifying the noun doesn't stop there, though. So we are going to talk about another method here, which I'm going to use another sheet here, and that is naming. Let's see, naming. Whoops. Well, it didn't work. Let's see. We have like that. No, it doesn't. Strange. All right. Well, let's go again here. Naming with let's see, we have nāma. So we have this adverb. We have the adverb nāma. Adverb, and that adverb is we should translate it as named. That's the sort of the we can of course use other called or something like that, but I will explicitly use this word named in the translation exercises to indicate that I want nāma in the translation into Sanskrit. So whenever you see the English word named, you can think of nāma. The peculiar thing, or well, peculiar, but maybe from an English perspective, is that the word named should always be placed after the name, the proper name. So it's in grammatical language called an enclitic. Enclitic. So it's leaning towards the previous word. So an example then would be Rāmaḥ nāma. And that is then Rama named. Or of course the final named Rama, like that. But if we just go with a Sanskrit word order, then Rama named. Or we can say Arjunaḥ nāma. Arjuna named. And here I am not going to use a hyphen here, although that would sound better perhaps. Arjuna named. But I'm indicating here that we need two words in the Sanskrit to make this work. Not one. So otherwise I use, for instance, in the verbs, if I have let's say up here vadati, he speaks, I use the hyphen here to indicate that the translation, if I start with the English here and the translation, I'm expecting a translation into one word. So that's how I think about hyphens. But here when it comes to Rāmaḥ nāma, we clearly have two words in the Sanskrit, so we need two English words to represent this. Alright, so let's see. Of course, here also when I'm up here in parentheses, excuse me, I just have to have a little drink here. We could sort of make alternative translations once we have translated it roughly, of course, and then we could make this longer by the name of, or called, or by the name of. So Rāmaḥ nāma could be translated as in a more fluent English translation to by the name of Rama, or something like that. So there may be many ways of doing that. But first we have to sort of learn the sort of basic translation of the words, and then we can let our how should I say, our poetic sort of propensities, we can let them do that later on. So after we get a more firm grasp of the meaning, then we can make it more flourishing. Okay, so let's see. All right, so we did the naming with nāma now, and but here so now the idea is that we are going to combine this, so naming with nāma, but we still have to have something else in a sentence other than this. So named Rāma is sort of calling out to what is it that is named Rāma, or what is it that is named Arjuna? What is it? Well, there's something else, and that's the other name that we had before here when we were talking about qualifying the noun. So in the example here, in number 1 here, we said it was the hero doing something. So we need a similar thing here. So now the question then is, since we already have 2 words here, where should we put, what should the syntax be? Because the problem here, what we had before here, is the order of the words. So number 1 was okay, but number 2 possibly isn't. So how should we look at that? All right, so let's do the first thing here. We will start with let's see, let's do this. Nripaha vadati. Okay, let's start with Nripa vadati. The king speaks. So the question is now, where should we put in, let's say that Rāmaḥ, that Rama is the king. Okay, so Rama is the king, but the question is, what should we do? Should we put Rama before Nripaha, or should we put it after? So what I'm doing here then is that I'm starting out with Nripaha, Rāmaḥ, nāma, vadati. And this is confirmed in scholarly books that this is a good word order, and this works. So then we have the Rāmaḥ nāma after the noun. It qualifies. And And so a similar thing then would be to do, let's see, we could do another word here similar. We can do a whoops, oh, strange. Okay, I can't. Okay, let's Charya. Let's start the same thing here. Acharya. Let's take Arjunaḥ. Arjunaḥ nāma. Gacchati. So the teacher, Acharya, named Arjuna, he goes, or he's going, like that. So both of these, and once again here then we have the enclitic nāma here after the name itself, Arjunaḥ. Okay. Good. Okay, so then the question is it possible to put the words Rāmaḥ nāma or Arjunaḥ nāma, could we put them at the very start of the sentence? And the answer is yes, we could do that as well. And so we can do this here. So we do the simply Rāmaḥ. I'm not sure what that is. Arjunaḥ, Rāmaḥ nāma, nripaḥ vadati. Or we could do Arjunaḥ nāma, wrong spelled here. This transliteration here. Acharya, hup. Acharya gacchati. Chati, like that. So we have then the naming phrase there first in the sentence, and then comes the noun nripaḥ or acharya, and then last in the sentence comes the verb. So these seem to be perfectly proper syntax. So we can put the name first in the sentence, at least if we have this nāma construction. But I'm not sure that we can do it otherwise. I mean, we can do it sloppily, sort of, but if it's actually a usual thing to do, or a something that is done that someone would not frown upon. I mean, that's the question. Is it okay from that perspective? Is this so? Anyway, so but here when we're using the nāma construction, it is certainly all right and perfectly fine to use. So without nāma, we only have one way to do it so far, but in terms of when we use the nāma construction, we have two ways of stacking the name and the noun, and both are allowed, so to speak. All right, that sums it up for this lesson, and now we'll have the exercises, which will be posted in the other videos that are for this lesson. So if you're using the playlist, they will come up automatically. So I hope you had a good time, and I also hope that you will have a great day ahead. Bye bye.